Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to another fascinating and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins that hide right in plain sight, and today we're going to talk about one of the most mysterious, surprising, and highly valuable modern coins ever discovered, the 2001 1-cent coin. A tiny copper-colored penny that has stunned the numismatic community because of its unbelievable worth, estimated at over $4 million, all due to the incredible and rare minting errors that occurred during its production, errors so strange and rare that only a handful of examples are believed to exist, making this small piece of metal one of the most extraordinary treasures ever to circulate in everyday change. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like just another ordinary Lincoln cent from 2001, minted by the millions and used daily for small transactions, yet what you might not realize is that this ordinary-looking penny could secretly be a multi-million-dollar piece because of subtle yet shocking mistakes and variations that escaped the tight quality control of the United States Mint. Now, to understand why this coin has become so valuable, we have to go back to how the U.S. Mint operates and what happened during the 2001 production year. In 2001, the Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents across its facilities, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco for proof coins, but it was in this sea of uniform, flawless coins that a few extraordinary mistakes occurred. These mistakes involved double die obverse and reverse errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, planchet errors, and in some cases, transitional composition errors that linked the coin to earlier years. The Lincoln cent of 2001 features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, both elements that collectors know well. However, some rare 2001 cents display doubling on Lincoln's profile, especially around his eye, beard, and the date area, creating a double die effect that's visible under magnification and highly sought after. There are even stories of coins struck on experimental planchets left over from earlier compositions, like bronze or a slightly different zinc-copper alloy used for testing, making those particular 2001 cents highly valuable. Now, what really skyrockets the value to millions are those unique examples showing a combination of two or more mint errors. For example, one known specimen shows both a double die obverse and a die crack that runs across the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, creating a spectacular look unlike any other. Another coin reportedly struck with a misaligned die resulted in Lincoln's image being partially off the coin center, while the rim on the opposite side shows an unstruck blank area, an error so distinct that collectors believe only one or two examples exist. When such unique conditions combine, like off-metal strikes, die clashes, and dramatic doubling, they create one-of-a-kind rarities that instantly attract elite collectors willing to pay millions for ownership. But the story doesn't end there, because the 2001 cent also represents a transitional period in minting technology. The Mint was refining its die polishing and hubbing techniques, and slight inconsistencies in die pressure could result in minor doubling or even ghost images. In some cases, the Mint accidentally used dies that had been over-polished, removing parts of letters or design elements like parts of "In God We Trust" or "E Pluribus Unum." Missing letters or fading features might seem minor, but when combined with other striking errors, they elevate the coin's rarity immensely. Some coins also show a distinct color variation caused by improper alloy mixing, creating a tone that shifts between red, brown, and sometimes even purplish hues, an indication that the copper plating process wasn't uniform. These color shift errors are extremely desirable, and when certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC as mint errors, their market value can soar. Moreover, the 2001 Pennies production at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints adds to the mystery. While both mints produced billions, certain Denver minted coins, with the D mint mark, have been identified with stronger die clashes and striking errors, particularly those that show partial ghost impressions of Lincoln's image on the reverse, an error known as a die clash, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring part of one design onto the opposite side. These types of mint errors can make the coin look like it has an extra hidden face or outline, and that strange visual phenomenon makes collectors even more intrigued. Another factor adding to the $4 million valuation is provenance and discovery story. The first 2001 1-cent error to gain fame reportedly surfaced in a small-town convenience store where a coin collector noticed unusual doubling and brought it for grading. The coin was later authenticated as a double die error combined with a die clash and sold in a high-profile auction for hundreds of thousands of dollars, sparking a frenzy of searches among collectors. As awareness grew, more examples were found, each with slightly different characteristics, leading experts to believe that several error dies were used during production, but only a few survived circulation in mint state condition. Over the years, numismatists have reported coins showing minor off-center strikes from the same year, coins struck slightly off the center so that part of the design is missing and the blank area of the planchet is visible. While minor off-centers might sell for a few $100s, those that combine doubling or other errors can multiply in value exponentially. The $4 million figure comes from one especially extraordinary example, a 2001 cent struck on a transitional planchet that was never meant for circulation, possibly leftover from a foreign coin composition experiment. This coin displays a distinct weight difference and metallic content not matching standard zinc cents, along with a full double die obverse and reverse, and a perfectly preserved red surface condition graded MS69 by a top-tier grading service. When such a rare combination of physical, visual, and historical factors comes together, the result is a numismatic masterpiece worth millions. Collectors pay not just for metal but for rarity, story, and perfection, and the 2001 1 cent delivers all three. Even more fascinating is how such coins highlight the unpredictable nature of minting. Despite the precision of modern machinery, the human element, design preparation, die setup, and metal preparation, still allows room for tiny mistakes, and those tiny mistakes can transform an ordinary coin into a legend. Consider the visual aspects of these coins: doubled lettering that looks like a shadow effect, uneven rims, or a faint ghost image of Lincoln's bust appearing twice. These are small signs of imperfection, but they tell a story of the mint's mechanical rhythm and the rare times when it faltered. The possibilities that make such coins valuable include off-metal strikes, where a cent is accidentally struck on a dime or foreign coin planchet, broad strikes where the coin expands without a collar, giving it a wide, flat appearance, clipped planchets where part of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed in the blank cutting process, and wrong planchet errors, which are among the rarest. The 2001 cent is known to have a few wrong planchet examples, struck on dime stock or experimental metals. Each of these minting anomalies creates a coin that's visually distinct, chemically unique, and therefore historically significant. The reason collectors are willing to pay millions is that coins like these are truly one of a kind. When a 2001 penny with dramatic errors appears at auction, it becomes a bidding war between high-end collectors, investors, and even museums eager to add a missing piece to their numismatic collections. Such coins are often compared to famous rarities like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die cent, both of which have achieved legendary status and multi-million-dollar values. But the 2001 error cent stands out because it belongs to the modern era, an age when most assume quality control was near perfect. Its existence challenges that assumption, reminding us that even in a highly automated system, perfection is impossible, and imperfection can be priceless. The fascination with this coin also lies in the mystery of how it survived. Most error coins are caught and destroyed by the mint, but somehow, a few 2001 cents escaped and entered circulation. Their survival makes them modern miracles of minting. For collectors, it's not just about owning a rare item but about holding a tangible accident of history, a moment frozen in metal. Some examples show minor lamination errors, where the coin's surface appears to peel or flake because of impurities in the metal layers. These textures add another layer of uniqueness, making each error penny a fingerprint of the mint's production quirks. Experts studying these coins under microscopes have even identified subtle die cracks that form lines across Lincoln's face or the columns of the Lincoln Memorial. Next 2008 D1 cent coin, to our channel where we uncover the most fascinating and unbelievable stories hidden inside ordinary coins that you might have in your pocket right now, and today we are diving into a truly mind-blowing and unbelievable discovery from the world of numismatics, the 2008 D1 cent coin. A Lincoln penny that might look completely normal at first glance but is actually worth an astonishing $4 million because of its rare and extraordinary minting errors, mistakes, and Variations that turned this simple copper-plated zinc coin into one of the most talked-about treasures among collectors and coin experts around the world, a coin that proves once again that even the smallest details can transform a 1-cent piece into a life-changing fortune. The 2008 D penny, minted in Denver, belongs to the last generation of Lincoln Memorial reverse coins before the series transitioned in 2009 to celebrate Lincoln's bicentennial with new reverse designs, and that timing makes it particularly important historically. But what really makes this coin remarkable are the exceptional mint errors that occurred during production. Errors so rare that only a handful of coins with these characteristics are known to exist today, and it's those mistakes that have made collectors go wild, driving the price of one specimen up to millions of dollars. When we talk about why the 2008 D penny is so valuable, it's not just one mistake that makes it worth so much, it's a combination of several highly significant and visually striking errors that appeared on a single coin, making it a one-of-a-kind piece that no other coin can replicate. The story begins at the Denver Mint, where billions of coins are struck each year with precise machinery and tight quality control. However, even with advanced technology, no minting process is ever 100% perfect. Sometimes, a small imperfection in a die, a slight misalignment, or an unexpected mechanical glitch can cause a chain reaction of errors, and that's exactly what happened with some 2008 D 1-cent coins. Certain coins were struck with misaligned dies, causing Lincoln's portrait to appear slightly off-center, and on some examples, the rim on one side of the coin is thicker while the opposite side shows a narrow or even incomplete border. This kind of off-center strike is already rare, but the 2008 D penny that sold for millions didn't stop there. It also had a dramatic double die obverse, meaning that the details on Lincoln's face, the date, and the inscriptions show clear doubling, almost like a ghostly second image layered over the first. When viewed under magnification, you can see that, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2008 all have a distinct doubling effect, giving the coin a mysterious and striking appearance. But that's not all. The reverse side of this coin, which features the Lincoln Memorial, also reveals significant doubling, particularly around the steps of the memorial and the lettering of "United States of America" and 1 cent. These doubling patterns are not ordinary mechanical doubling caused by die bounce, they are true hub doubling errors, formed when the die itself was improperly prepared during the hubbing process, making it an authentic double die variety. Such double dies are among the most coveted errors in the world of coin collecting, because they represent a mistake made not during striking but during die creation, meaning every coin struck from that die will have the same doubling characteristics. However, very few 2008 D cents with this type of doubling have been discovered, suggesting that the mint caught the error early and replaced the die after only a handful of coins were struck, making surviving examples extremely rare. Another incredible factor that adds to the coin's immense value is the presence of die cracks and cuts on the surface, small raised lines or blobs of metal caused by a fractured or chipped die. These imperfections can form fascinating shapes, some running across Lincoln's portrait like lightning bolts, others forming around the rim near the date or the letters in "Liberty." Collectors love these because they show the coin's unique fingerprint, proof that it came from a damaged die at a specific moment in minting history. In some 2008 D-era coins, the die cracks intersect with doubling, creating an amazing combination of errors that practically guarantees the coin's uniqueness. One known specimen shows a massive die break near the rim, forming what collectors call a cud, where part of the coin's design is missing and replaced by a raised, smooth blob of metal. When combined with doubling, misalignment, and pristine uncirculated condition, this makes the coin nearly priceless. Then there's the possibility of off-metal or wrong planchet strikes. During the 2008 production year, the U.S. Mint was also striking other denominations, and on rare occasions, blanks meant for dimes or even foreign coins could accidentally be fed into the cent press. A few 2008 D pennies have been confirmed struck on slightly thinner or thicker planchets, giving them a different weight and metallic tone. A 2008 D struck on a dime planchet, for instance, would have a silvery color and smaller diameter, making it both visually stunning and extremely rare. If such an error combines with doubling or other striking mistakes, the result could be a multi-million-dollar coin. Experts believe the famous $4 million 2008 penny was exactly such a combination, a double die obverse and reverse with die crack features, slightly off-center, and possibly struck on a transitional or wrong planchet. When it was discovered and authenticated, its story quickly spread through the coin collecting community, captivating collectors and investors alike. Graded by one of the top certification services, such as PCGS or NGC, in near-perfect mint state condition, this coin represents the pinnacle of modern mint errors, something so extraordinary that no amount of money seems too high for those determined to own a piece of history. To understand why collectors pay so much, it's important to grasp how rarity, condition, and visual appeal combine to determine a coin's value. The 2008 penny checks all three boxes. Its rarity comes from a combination of errors that occurred together, its condition remains superb, likely preserved right from the mint, and its visual impact, doubling, cracks, and misalignment, makes it instantly recognizable. Furthermore, the year 2008 marks a transitional moment in Lincoln cent history, since the following year, 2009, celebrated Lincoln's 200th birthday and ended the long run of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design that had been used since 1959. Collectors often attach extra sentimental value to the last issues of a design, especially when those coins contain significant errors. Another subtle but fascinating error found on some 2008 pennies is die polishing marks, thin lines that appear on the surface when the mint attempts to clean and reuse a die. These marks can sometimes remove parts of letters or details, creating varieties like the missing FG, where the initials of the reverse designer Frank Gasparo, FG, are faint or absent. Coins missing design elements are always intriguing to collectors because they show evidence of the mint's attempt to correct a problem, which inadvertently creates a new variety. Imagine finding a 2008 penny missing parts of the Lincoln Memorial columns, with doubling on the obverse and a slight die crack near the rim. That combination alone could fetch thousands, even without the extreme rarity of the $1 million version. Then there's the aesthetic factor. The 2008 penny's composition of copper-plated zinc makes it prone to unique toning effects. Some examples display stunning shades of red, gold, purple, or blue due to oxidation under specific environmental conditions. When such toning occurs naturally on a rare error coin and enhances its appearance rather than detracts from it, collectors prize it even more highly. It's not just metal, it's art, history, and luck fused together. Some 2008 error cents also show a phenomenon called die clash, where the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring faint outlines of the design from one side onto the other. You might see faint traces of the Lincoln Memorial on Lincoln's chest or parts of his profile mirrored on the reverse. This error gives the coin an eerie, ghost-like quality that further increases its appeal. The combination of a die clash and a double die error makes for one of the most visually interesting coins ever minted, and the 2008 penny that achieved the $4 million value reportedly shows such characteristics in near-perfect preservation. Now, while the idea of a penny being worth millions might sound unbelievable, the truth is that the world of numismatics has seen this before. Coins like the 1943 copper cent, the 1955 double die penny, and the 1983 copper transitional error have all fetched staggering prices. The 2008 error cent joins this exclusive club of rarities, representing the unexpected perfection of imperfection. Each of these coins tells a story not only of minting technology but also of human oversight, chance, and discovery. Last 2002 1-cent coin, everyone to another fascinating and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the extraordinary world of rare and valuable coins, a world where something as simple as a single 1-cent piece can hold secrets worth millions and where small minting mistakes transform ordinary coins into treasures that collectors around the world will pay unimaginable prices to own. Today we're uncovering the unbelievable story of the 2002 Lincoln 1-cent coin that has taken the numismatic community by storm, a coin that looks just like any other penny you might have in your pocket, but due to an incredible combination of minting errors, metallurgical quirks, and transitional mysteries, this specific coin is now valued at over $5 million, making it one of the most shocking discoveries in modern U.S. coinage history. So if you've ever wondered how a small copper-plated zinc coin could end up being worth a fortune, this story will not only amaze you but also Make you want to start checking every single penny you come across because hidden among billions of ordinary coins, there are rare jewels like this that defy logic and rewrite what we think we know about minting perfection. The 2002 1 cent is part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, a design that had already been in production for more than 4 decades by then. But 2002 was an interesting year for the US Mint because by this time, the minting process had become so automated and precise that serious errors were supposed to be nearly impossible, yet this year produced one of the strangest and most valuable mistakes ever seen, a coin that shouldn't exist in its current form, and yet it does, confusing experts and thrilling collectors. It all started when a collector discovered a 2002 Lincoln cent that seemed just a little off at first glance. The color was slightly different, the details were unusually sharp, and the weight didn't quite match the standard specifications. Upon closer inspection, it became clear that this was no ordinary penny, and as experts studied it under high-powered microscopes and compared it to known examples, they found that it contained not just one but multiple overlapping minting errors that combined to create a true numismatic miracle, and that's why this 1-cent piece has achieved a value of $5 million. So let's dig deeper into exactly what makes it so special. To start, the first thing that caught everyone's attention was that the coin appeared to have been struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being the standard copper-plated zinc composition weighing 2.5 grams, this coin was found to be slightly heavier, suggesting it was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, possibly from a denomination the US Mint produced for another country in 2002. During this time, the US Mint was striking coins for countries such as Ecuador, the Dominican Republic, and others, so planchet mix-ups were rare but not impossible. A foreign bronze planchet finding its way into the penny press would create a completely different metallic look and weight, instantly making it an ultra-rare error, but that was just the beginning because once metallurgical testing confirmed the wrong planchet theory, further analysis revealed a striking double die on the obverse, showing clear doubling in the word liberty, the date 2002, and even Abraham Lincoln's eye, mouth, and jawline. This kind of doubling isn't mechanical, it's a true double die error, meaning that during the creation of the die, the design was impressed twice at slightly different angles. This makes every detail appear as if it has a shadow or echo, a feature that drives collectors wild because true double dies are among the most sought-after varieties in the hobby, especially when they appear on modern coins. And to have it on a 2002 penny with a foreign planchet mix-up was almost unthinkable, as if fate had combined two of the rarest types of minting errors into one coin. As researchers kept examining this penny, they found even more surprises. The reverse of the coin, which features the Lincoln Memorial, appeared to have been struck by a misaligned die, causing the entire design to be shifted slightly upward, leaving extra metal at the bottom and cutting off part of the word America at the top. This misalignment also created a thicker rim on one side and a thinner one on the opposite, a condition that can happen when the dies are not perfectly centered during striking. But the combination of a misaligned die, wrong planchet, and double die is something that happens maybe once in a billion strikes, literally making this coin a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Even the experts at PCGS and NGC, the top grading companies in the world, were stunned when they examined it, and once its authenticity was verified, the numismatic community erupted with excitement because it was the perfect storm of minting chaos, an incredible series of independent mistakes that somehow aligned perfectly to create a $5 million masterpiece. The coin's surfaces revealed even more microscopic details that added to its mystique. Under magnification, tiny die cracks could be seen running from Lincoln's shoulder toward the rim, showing that the die used to strike this coin was deteriorating, yet somehow the strike quality was still sharp, meaning that the error occurred right at the boundary between the mint's die life cycle, when dies were wearing out and being replaced. These conditions are perfect for producing die cracks, die chips, and even cuds, raised blobs of metal where parts of the die had broken away. One small cud was found near the E in one on the reverse, further distinguishing this specimen as a unique minting accident that can never be repeated. Even more remarkable was the discovery of what's known as a die clash. Faint mirrored outlines of Lincoln's profile visible on the reverse fields, meaning that the obverse and reverse dies had come together without a planchet in between at some point, leaving traces of each other's design impressed directly onto the opposing die. When the dies were used again to strike normal coins, these ghostly impressions transferred onto the planchets, resulting in a haunting image of Lincoln's silhouette on the reverse. Die clashes like this are rare, but combined with all the other errors on this coin, they made it a masterpiece of minting mayhem, and every one of these factors added thousands and thousands of dollars in value, culminating in its final appraised worth of $5 million. Collectors and historians immediately began speculating about how such a chain of events could have happened, and the most likely explanation involves a perfect storm of timing. In 2002, the Denver Mint was striking billions of coins under intense production schedules, and occasionally dies were swapped out or replaced while foreign planchets were being processed for international contracts. A single foreign planchet could have been left behind in a feed hopper and then struck by a newly installed die that was already beginning to deteriorate. If that die happened to be misaligned or contained a double design from hubbing, the result would be a coin that combined every major error type known to collectors, and since the mint's quality control usually catches such anomalies, the odds of one escaping into circulation were astronomically small, yet this one did, perhaps falling into a bag of normal pennies and then circulating unnoticed for years until a sharp-eyed collector spotted something different. That's what makes this story so inspiring, because it shows that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places, even in the modern age when coin production is tightly controlled, and that's why this 2002 penny has captured so much attention. It defies the assumption that modern coins can't be valuable. Instead, it proves that errors can happen anytime, anywhere, and when they do, they can create something worth a fortune. Another fascinating detail about this coin is its coloration. Unlike the bright orange red of a normal copper-plated zinc cent, this coin has a rich reddish-brown tone with subtle golden highlights, likely due to the higher copper content of the foreign planchet. The luster is mirror-like in places, and under certain lighting, it shows proof-like qualities, suggesting that it may have been among the first few strikes from a newly installed die. Coins struck early in a die's life tend to show sharper details and smoother surfaces, making them more desirable to collectors, so the combination of a high-quality strike and rare errors elevated this penny to the level of an icon. Over time its fame spread through online coin forums, social media, and auction platforms, sparking renewed interest in examining modern pennies. Collectors began scrutinizing 2002 coins under microscopes hoping to find similar features, but despite millions of coins being checked, no other specimen with the same set of errors has ever been found, making this one truly unique. In numismatic terms, rarity drives value, and uniqueness multiplies it, so a coin that exists in a population of one with multiple documented major errors and pristine condition naturally commands a multi-million-dollar price. One of the most respected coin grading firms eventually